Really,
by
next week.
before
Before the break, and then most probably when we come back after the Lenten break, we can approve it on Thursday.
Of course, the discussions about the divorce bill had been very, very intense, very contentious po. Sa tingin niyo po ba, meron kayong makukuhang support from all congressmen?
Well, I think the vast majority of the members are supportive of this measure, and we have many co-authors, and more co-authors are signing up for the measure. So I'm very confident we are going to pass this in the House. And as soon as we pass this in the House, most probably we have to campaign in the Senate to pass the counterpart measure.
Pero sir, yung chances of this passing and being approved this Congress, mas maganda ba compared to...
Definitely. Ano na ito eh.
Maaga, sir.
Maagang natalakay at meron sufficient time. Hindi ito aabutan ng time constraint.
Sir, going back to Chacha, sabi niyo kasi parang ayaw niyong amyendahan yung Constitution. Are you convinced ba na hindi lang talaga economic provision yung amyendahan once it is open na?
Well, hindi natin masasabi yan. Pero marami nagsususpetsa na pag itong binuksan ng ating saligang batas sa economic Chacha, posible ang susunod ay yung political Chacha. At hindi natin makokontrol ang agenda ng Constituent Assembly. Pero hindi ko sinasabi na doon ang pamunta yan. Pero posible pumunta doon.
Pero once the open the Constitution, di ba, hindi lang po pwedeng economic provision ang basta galawin, kundi the whole...
Well, may kanyang agenda yan. Ang agenda ngayon ay economic Chacha lamang. Pero pag nag-meet na, palagay mo ang dalawang kamara, hindi natin makokontrol ang agenda. Kahit na dun sa Constitutional Convention, hindi natin makakontrol yan. Kaya pwedeng pumasok ang kinakatakutan ng taong bayan na mag-a-amend sila ng political provision.
And this political provision is favorable to the congressman or to the senators?
Well, to politicians.
Sir, sorry, last lang, habol lang po sa divorce. Sa tingin niyo po ba this National Women's Month, posibleng, yun nga, kahit second reading, posibleng mairegalo ito ng Kamara?
Sa second reading, check ito ay regalo sa Women's Month.
And of course, we have allies naman po sa Senate for the divorce bill, Congress Congress 1.
Maraming allies doon. At kailan kausapin na lang natin yung majority leader na i-calendar na para mapag-usapan na rin sa Senado.
Sino sinasabi yung posibleng pro-politicians na amendment? Ano pong like example yung pwede pro-politicians na amendment? Sabi niya yung mga provision na pwedeng pumabor sa mga politiko. Ano po yung example? Ano yung example?
Wala kong sinasabing kanon.
Hindi, yung if-ever po lang na ano.
Well, alam mo, ito legislation. Alam mo, pag legislation, iyan ay maraming naglalabi. So, posible nga, pag legislation, ay mapagbigyan yung mga lobbyists. Kasama na yung mga kapitalista.
Sir, kasama ba ron yung term extension? Yung possible na term extension?
Wala. Pinag-usapan natin yung economic Chacha lamang.
Hindi, once it is open, na doon favorable sa...
Once it's open, then kahit anong bagay sa saligang batas ay pwedeng amenda. Pero sa ngayon, ang agenda ay economic Chacha lamang. Pero posibleng yung takot ninyo ay pumunta doon sapagkat nga hindi natin makokontrol ang agenda pag nag-meeting na ang mga senador at mga congressmen sa Constituent Assembly.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ng Constitution, maasahan po ba natin ang ating mga mambabatas? At makakatiwalang ba natin ang Congress na isulong ang interes at kapakanan ng sambayan ng Pilipino? Thank you po.
Sa ngayon, meron lamang na tatlong modes to amend the Constitution. Una, via Constituent Assembly. Pangalawa, Constitutional Convention. Pangatlo, yung People's Constitution. Hindi yan kasama yung pag-amenda ng Constitution by ordinary legislation. Pero ngayon ang panukala ay gusto ng mga karamihan sa amin sa mababang kapulungan na bigyan ang Kongreso ng karapatan i-amendahan ang Konstitusyon by ordinary statute. Iyan ay pwede sapagkat kung iyan ay i-ratify ng tao, then binigyan ng tao ang Kongreso ng poder mag-amenda. Pero iyan ay extraordinary, in exception na exception, sapagkat yung saligang batas ay yung pinakamataas na batas. Hindi yan pwede i-amenda, palitan ng or review or modify ng ordinary legislation. Pangalawa, sa ngayon, walang partisipasyon ng Presidente sa pag-amenda ng Konstitusyon. Pero kung iyan i-amenda by ordinary legislation, ay nandiyan na ang Presidente. He can approve or veto any bill. And because ito ay dadaan sa bill, ay pupunta sa Pangulo. Kaya pag-aralan mabuti at ang tanong sa taong bayan, gusto ba ninyo na ang Kongreso ay ang pag-amenda ng saligang batas? Sagutin ninyo yan kung dumating ang plebisito.
Thank you, Congressman Dagman. Mr. Toti, sir. Again, not as a member of Congress, but as a citizen, how would you mapapagkatiwalaan ba natin ang Kongreso kung ibigay natin sa kanilang kapangyarihan?
Bakit hindi? I mean, sila po ay, they're elected by the people, so they should be allowed to, amend it, I guess, no? As long as it's been ratified by the people in the majority plebiscite. No? Pero ang palagay ko, ang mas tama, kung ako matatanungin, is that kailangan palitan natin yung buong konstitusyon. Napakahaba eh. I think it's 30,000 words. One of the longest in the world. Kasi masyadong madetalyado. Yung mga ibang konstitusyon, yung fundamental law of the land lang, yung basic principles lang. And then yung mga iba, ang legislation ang gumagawa. So, kung ako tatanungin, papalitan ko yung buong konstitusyon.
Overhauling of the Constitution.
Yung overhauling. Maybe through a constitutional convention. We should call it for constitutional convention. And then, change it, no? After all, yung itong 1987 Constitution was made only by a few appointed members by President Cory Aquino. Hindi sila elected, no? Saka, so unlike in a Constitutional Convention, elected, no? So kung ako, tatanungin mo, mas gusto ko mayroong Constitutional Convention na palitan yung buong konstitusyon natin. Masyadong mahaba at palagay ko hindi na angkop sa panahon ngayon na mayroong mga internet, mayroong artificial intelligence, etc.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. The next question will be asked by Mr. AJ Alfafara ng Q Asia. Yes.
Magandang umaga po. Ang question po is that in the past 10 years, several laws and regulations have already been passed that already opened up the Philippine economy to the world without having to amend the Constitution. Now, with the RA 11659, the Revised Public Service Act, was enacted in March 2022. Thus, under this law, foreign investors are no longer restricted to 40% foreign ownership in telecommunication, shipping, airline, railway, toll, road, and transport network vehicle industries. And then RA 11647, Foreign Investment Act, was enacted in March 2022 as well, which removed several industries from the foreign investment negative list, or those were 100% foreign-owned companies cannot invest in. Simply more industries such as startups, startup enablers, enterprises with advanced technology can have 100% foreign ownership. And RA 11595 Retail Trade Liberalization Act was enacted in January 2022, which lowered the investment capital of foreign investors in retail business from $2.5 million paid up capital in current exchange, that's around 114 million pesos, to just 25 million pesos or approximately $500,000. Renewable energy in 2022, the Department of Justice issued a legal opinion to the Department of Energy that renewable energy are not included in the definition of natural resources. Thus, renewable energy from solar, wind, and hydro energy sources are not subjected to the 40% foreign ownership restriction. So with all this enacted in the past Congress in 2022, is there still a need to amend the rest of the, with the economic provisions? Because it looked like it would suffice. Thank you.
Well, as I said, right now, even Congressman Lagman admitted there are cases to question the constitutionality of the Public Service Act. So there's still a legal uncertainty over the Public Service Act. So removing these restrictions in the Constitution will remove that uncertainty. I think even former Justice Tony Carpio mentioned the same thing, that this will settle once and for all about the constitutionality of the Public Service Act. So that's why there's still a need to remove all those the restrictions. And besides, RBH 7 includes both education, public utilities, and advertising. Ideally, it should cover the others, but again, Congress has deemed fit to limit it to those three. The other reason for that would be really signaling to foreign investors that we are indeed serious and we are open to foreign investment.
Thank you, sir. Congressman Lagman, sir.
Well, I think legislation would be sufficient to encourage the entry of direct foreign investments or to liberalize the economy, as long as that legislation or statute does not offend the Constitution, unlike what Congress has done in the amendment to the Public Service Act, which really offended the Constitution because it just merely made an artificial distinction between public service and public utility, so as to remove public service industries from the coverage of the restriction. I think sufficient legislation will do. And we should remember that South Korea and Taiwan achieved superior economic status without banking or relying on foreign investments.
Thank you, Congressman Lagman. Si Ms. AJ actually mentioned a number of laws, and one of them, itong Foreign Investment Act, which is RA 11647, enacted in March 2022. Doon, tinanggal sa negative list ng foreign investment list yung several industries, including startups and enablers. May mga pumasok bang investors po after na-enact yung batas na yun? Since the law was passed, tapos inallow yung several industries, tinanggal sila sa foreign investment negative list ng foreign investment act, marami bang foreign investors na pumasok? That's the first question. The second question is, ito I think po yung sa revised Retail Trade Liberalization Act, which is RA 11595, again enacted also in 2022. nilower niya yung capital requirement ng foreign investor from 2.5 million US dollars, roughly mga 140 million pesos today, to nearly 500,000 US dollars. So roughly mga 25 million today. So nung pinasa po yung Liberalized Retail Trade Act na yun, noong 2022, marami bang pumasok ng mga foreign investors sa retail industry natin? Yes, Congressman.
Doon sa datos ng Philippine Statistics Authority ay kakunti lang o hindi as expected yung pumasok sa retail trade. Despite the fact na dalawang beses natin na liberalize yan, ano ang datos? Yung share ng retail trade sa gross domestic product in 2010 was 12.8%. In 2023, last year, minimal lang yung increase. It increased to 14.8%. Eh kung talagang dumagsa yung entry of direct foreign investment sa retail trade, eh, mas malaki sana ang share ng retail trade sa gross domestic product. Kaya hindi nangyari. Hindi nangyari.
Pero pwede rin po sabihin that it's only been 2 years. Kasi 2022 pinasa yung batas.
Pero dalawang beses na yan.
Pangalawang beses na.
Dalawang beses na yan.
Correct.
Dalawang beses.
Yes.
Pero anyway, pwede tayo maghintay pa. Pero ito ang comparison dito is 2010 saka 2023, that 13 years.
Okay.
That covered the period na nag-liberalize tayo.
Inamend nga yung sa retail trade kasi yung unang reform niya, napakataas ang minimum capitalization. $20 million ata yung minimum capitalization, di ba?
The original.
Yung original. So, masyadong mataas, no? That's why ngayon, mas binaba, no? Ang alam ko sa Thailand, mas mababa pa eh. Kasi nakakatulong yan sa kanilang tourism kasi may mga foreigners na nag-open ng kanilang mga shops, no, sa mga tourist areas, no. So maaga pa yan, palagay ko papasok siguro later, no, kasi siyempre ginawa pa yung implementing rules and regulations niyan siguro ngayon pa lang. Pero makikita natin yung power ng liberalization. Diyan, for example, sa liberalization renewable energy, no, kasi buhat no nung inopen po yan dahil sa DOJ opinion, eh napakarami nang pumasok dito o nag-signify na papasok sila sa solar, sa wind, mga from Spain. In fact, right now, I think in-announce sa Presidente sa Germany, may mga German investors in renewable energy, no? So liberalization can bring in a lot of foreign investments. No?
Thank you, sir. No, thank you. We have one more question. Yeah.
Sir,
please identify yourself.
Gabriel Lalo po from Inquirer.
From Inquirer.
Sir, hypothetical na lang kasi napasa na sa second reading yung RBH. Hello? Yung RBH 7 napasa na sa second reading, tapos malabo nang ma-amend yun sa House eh. Pero what is the strategy of the minority right now, sir? Kasi are you looking towards, kasi sabi nyo nga mukhang sure na papasa na talaga ng supermajority. Are you looking towards amending yung unless otherwise provided by law? Are you looking to find the allies sa Senate? Ano pong approach ng minority dito, sir?
Actually, walang magandang strategy against an overwhelming majority. Because at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. Kaya kami ay lalabas ng mga arguments namin laban sa economic chacha. Ang amin na
target ay hindi yung mga kasama na sirado na ang pag-iisip. Ang target namin, kayong media, ang taong bayan, na maintindihan kung ano ang mga issues. Matagal na natin pinag-uusapan yung unless otherwise provided by law. Ito ay malabong-malabo. Kung ikaw isang investor, gusto mo malaman, ano ba ang meets and bounds? Ano ba ang mga parameters pag magligay ako ng equity, ng capitalization dyan? Ito ba ay ma-increase to 100%, to 80%, to 90%, o ay increase ay minimal? Gagawin na 55-45. Kaya't yung unless provided by law is nebulous. Iyan ay linalagay ang taong bayan na mag-ratify sa plebisito sa limbo. Hindi niya alam ng taong bayan kung ano gagawa ng Kongreso. Ganun din yung investor. Hindi alam ng investor. Ano ba naman itong future law ito? Contingent legislation ang nangyayari. Ang investor ay kailangan hindi flexibility, kailangan certainty.
Thank you, Congressman Lagman. Who's the next question you have to ask? Please identify your name and your organization.
Yes po, good morning po. Red Mendoza po from the Manila Times. Of course, it's all been trashed out already, yung mga nuances and all the different issues surrounding sa RBH 7 and then sa economic provisions. Kong Lagman, you said nga po na you're only going to convince the public na lang instead. So, is this an admission po of defeat? Or should we, putting it bluntly po, are you saying po na this is an admission of defeat po sa inyong hanay po sa House, and you're going to shift your gears na po on a possible plebiscite come 2025? And if so, Kong, are you going to be one of the lead conveners of the quote-unquote no campaign? And Sir Toti, are you willing to join the pro-constitutional movement in pushing for a possible yes campaign?
Well, you will call it defeat, sapagkat natalo di ba? Ang nanalo yung super majority. Pero hindi naman exercise of utility yung ginagawa namin. Sapagkat nga, I will address this to the public, to the media, and to the Senate. Ang tingin ko, Tote, Alex, next week, pag pinasa ng lower house yung resolution of both houses number 7, ayan ay Palm Sunday. Ang daming aleluyas. Pero pagdating sa Senado, we are going to mourn it as if on Good Friday.
Thank you, Congressman Lagman. Yes, sir. Sir Toti.
Yes, of course, we will campaign for a yes. We hope we can even convince Congressman Lagman to vote yes, because he's the president of the Liberal Party. You know, liberalism is about being pro-market, being open to the economy. That's what real liberalism is. No, hindi yung protectionism, yung hindi pagbubukas sa mga ibang investors, etc. So, classic liberalism is for a pro-market economy, no? Openness, no? Openness to trade, no? So, yan po ang totoong liberalism. So, sana makonvince rin namin si Congressman Lagman, whom I highly respect.
Thank you, Sir Toti. I think Congressman Lagman would like to say something about
I will recommend you to the NP to be an advisor.
Thank you, Congressman. There's one more question, and this will be the last. Sorry for the other members of media. We are 3 minutes beyond the 11 o'clock already, but let's entertain the last.
Thank you very much. Good morning, gentlemen. I am Rod Cornejo of the Asian Institute of Journalism and Communication and the former executive of GMA Network. I have two questions, just two. First is, what is your view on foreign media being taking ownership or being part owner of Philippine media? And second question and last question is, what's your view of the Philippine Constitution Association? Are they in a way being consulted? Are they credible? Are they being, can they contribute to the discussion? That's all. Thank you very much.
Philippine Constitutional
Philconsa.
So, two questions. One is, what do you think of foreign ownership in media? Second, what do you think of Philconsa contribution in all this debate and discussion? Sir Tony?
Well, for removing all those restrictions, even in mass media, as I explained, for example, that we could have, right now it's 100% Filipino, di ba? So, sayang, because I think we could export our culture, our film, etc. if we accept foreign capital to access technology, access capital. As I explained, kumakalat po ng BTS na South Korea, which as you know, very popular, no? Merong mga foreign capital doon sa behind. Hindi lahat, but meron silang foreign capital na tinatanggap, no? Kasi lalo na, I think, publicly listed yung kumpanya behind BTS. So, pangalawa, yung mga ibang mass media companies, well, for example, like Facebook, narinig ko na sana magiging headquarters ng Pilipinas, di ba? Pero, paano yun? Sasabihin, you're operating as a mass media, hindi kayo pwede, 100% kayo. So, we could get jobs here, for example, from mass media, no? From foreign-owned mass media. So, we are for accessing capital and technology from foreign sources in mass media. Besides, as I said, you have to talk about influence and culture. Kinukonsume na po ng tao natin, foreign media. Nanonood sila ng CNN, nanonood sila ng YouTube. Hindi ba? Mga foreign media yan eh. Pero they're already accessing it. Di ba? O sinasabi nyo, may influence sila. May influence na nga sila eh. Hindi ba? Ano pa sasabihin natin? What more fears are we going to perpetuate by having them own foreign media here?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Congressman Lagman, sir.
Well, let me just restate that just like in the advertisement industry, the portals are open freely for the entry of modern technology and other innovations, both in advertising and media. So we do not have to allow the entry of foreign investment in media in order to have new technologies and innovations, because we are already having that. And moreover, we should distinguish between access and ownership. The Filipino audience has access to all of these international platforms, but access should not be differentiated from ownership. Ownership should belong to Filipino entrepreneurs, because media is a very sensitive industry which we could not give to foreign investors. Let them go to manufacturing. Let them go to service-oriented businesses. Let them go to retail trade, but protect the sensitive industries. Because according to the Constitution, and this is the big amendment, Section 19 of Article 2, the Philippines shall develop a reliant and independent economy effectively controlled by Filipinos. And this is for the protection of our posterity, the generations to come. Let not the present forfeit that posterity.
Thank you, Congressman Alman. Isara na po natin ang questions portion at ituloy na po natin ngayon sa closing remarks ng ating mga panauhin. I would like to hear first from Congressman Alman, sir.
Well, kung wala tayong ibang ginagawa, huwag natin pakialaman ang saligang batas. Kung meron tayong maraming gagawin, isolve natin ang mga problema natin tungkol sa krisis sa edukasyon, sa agrikultura, sa food security, sa employment, sa health, at yung aggression ng China sa West Philippine Sea. Pero huwag natin itamper ang ating saligang batas. Marami nagsasabi, matanda na raw ang saligang batas. 37 years old na raw.
37.
37.
37.
Oh, masyado po matanda.
Yes, sir.
37 na
EDSA
raw.
pa rin, EDSA rin.
Kung sa tao, 37 ay nasa prime pa, di ba? Balusong na talaga. Pero ang ating saligang batas is not the relic of the past. It reminds us of our past, just like the dark years of the Marcos dictatorship. It gives us guidelines for the present and guideposts o kamay para sa kinabukasan. Kaya pinahirap ng ating constitutional fathers ang pagpalit, pag-aminda ng saligang batas. Ngayon, uulitin ko sinabi ko, kung talagang gusto nilang i-amendahan ang saligang batas, bakit hindi sabihin kung magkano talaga ang proportions? Eh bakit pa? Depending on otherwise provided by law. Eh talagang yan, malabo yan. Hindi wala na kung anong gagawin ng Kongreso after it is authorized to amend the Constitution. At ang gusto ng taong bayan at ang gusto ng mga investors, certainty, not flexibility. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Congressman Alman. Sir Coting, sir. Your closing message po.
Ang sinasabi nila, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Eh, yung Pilipino...
Para sa akin po, may dalawang importanteng katanungan na siguro kailangan din pagdilay-nilayan at sagutin, lalo na po tayong mga ordinaryong mamamayan. Una, yung economic provisions ba talaga ang hadlang sa pag-unlad ng ating bansang Pilipinas? O baka naman hindi? Baka naman deficiencies sa policies sa gobyerno? Baka naman korupsyon? O yung pagiging sakim at makasarili? Yung kanya-kanyang mentality ng ating mga lideres sa politiko, sa gobyerno, at sa negosyo? Pangalawa, pag binigay po natin sa Kongreso ang kapangyarihan sa pagpasa ng batas tungkol sa economic provisions, isusulong ba nila ang makakabuti at kapakanan ng taong bayan? O baka naman yung pansarili at kapakanan lang nila ang isusulong nila? Ito lang po ang dalawang katanungan na sa aming palagay ay kailangan nating pagdiray-nilayan at pag-isipan tayong mga ordinaryong mamamayan. Pilipinas, sana po nakatulong kami sa inyo. Kasama ni Congressman Ed Salagman, sir, at ni Sir Toti Kichamco. Ito po ang inyong host
si Attorney Alex Lacson, para sa katotohanan, para sa pambayan. Maraming salamat po. At maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga miyembro ng media na kasama natin ngayon dito. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.